Welcome to the Press Box.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
0.9. Tie game at 72. Illinois to inbound to the corner. Brandon Paul looking to inbound. Gets to the Griffey. Layup. Oh!
Smith, 420 to right, down the line. It may go. Go crazy, folks. Go crazy.
Williams to tie it with a three. He goes.
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to the Press Box live here on Clubhouse Lounge Radio. I am Keith Gibson, sitting in the Clubhouse Lounge Radio studios, and over in the TP in Tolono, my broadcast partners, Scotty Johnson and Daniel Peratt, better known as DP, who's here making his virgin entrance into the Press Box live. DP, welcome, and let's tell a little bit about yourself.
My name is Daniel Peratt. I am a Champaign native, graduated at 2003 at Centennial High School. I bought a house in Tolono in 2020, currently reside here. Love the small town living here. I played a little sports in high school myself, but now I'm more of a sports fan, if you'd say. Because the aches and the pains and the injuries with sports like softball and things I played as an adult, I've moved on to easier sports as in cornhole and bowling. And that's what I do now. And I'm a sports fan. Love the Illini. Love the Chicago Bulls, Chicago Cubs, Chicago Bears. Illinois fan all around.
We love it. We love it, DP. We're glad you're here. We got a lot to talk about today. Including, we're going to start the show here in just a few minutes with some NFL talk. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about in the NFL right now. We got the Super Bowl set. We'll talk about it a little bit. We got some controversy with some coaches. We got some controversy with the Hall of Fame, and we're going to get to that in our opening segment. Scotty, what do we got in segment number 2 coming up a little later in the show?
Yeah, about halfway through the show, we're going to talk some MLB. We said last week we're going to get back on that, talk some free agency. NASCAR starts this week. Going to get a little bit into that. Daytona 500 in a couple weeks still, but get ready to start your engines on that NASCAR. And then we're going to talk a little bit about UFC and the Paramount debut, and maybe some, TV subscription issues that are kind of going on in the sports world.
Yeah, and then we'll take a break. Of course, we can't go too long on these things because everybody's got to have a pee break or a drink break every once in a while, you know. And then, DP, what are we getting the show with tonight? Your favorite, I know.
What's that?
What are we getting the show with tonight? We're going to talk a little Illini basketball.
I love Illini basketball, especially right now.
Yeah, big win last weekend and big one tonight, too, against Washington State Farm Center. So we got a big jam-packed show for you here on the Press Box Live. We're going to be with you for the next hour. And then that hour, we'll take you straight into the Unity Rockets and Monticello Sages from the Rocket Center live here on Clubhouse Lounge Radio with some high school basketball. So we got a full night of sports right here on the Clubhouse Lounge Radio and our Facebook page. You boys ready?
Yeah, Unity Rockets looking pretty good out there on the basketball court, aren't they, Keith?
They are state ranked right now and playing really good basketball, and a good time to do it because we're getting ready to start that postseason, get closer. So it's a good time to play good basketball.
I'd love to see it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and hear from our presenting sponsor, Jen Wright at Midwest Mortgage Group. We thank her for allowing us to be here each and every Thursday night in your homes, on your mobile devices, and in your ears. We'll take a quick break and be right back here on the Press Box Live.
Whether it's your first home or your forever home, Jen Wright at Midwest Mortgage in Champaign will focus on your goals, not just the numbers. Jen Wright will uncover options, build your strategy, and make this journey clear, simple, and stress-free. Let Jen Wright at Midwest Mortgage find solutions that fit your busy life. Call Jen today at 217-778-0598. Because your home should work for you, not the other way around. Jen Wright, Midwest Mortgage, NMLS number 2105305.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Press Box Live. I'm Keith Gibson, Clubhouse Lounge Radio Studios. Along with me, my broadcast partners over in the TP in Tolono, Scotty Johnson and Daniel Peratt, DP, with us this week. And gentlemen, let's talk NFL. Let's start the show right there. A lot to talk about. We now have our conference champions. Games are done. The Super Bowl is set. You've got the Patriots. You've got the Seahawks. Let's talk a little recap here of of those championship games. Not surprised about either one, Scotty. We talked about it on last week's show. We both thought it was going to be Seahawks. We both thought it was going to be the Patriots in, and by goodness, we were right.
We were right, Keith. You know, I don't think at the beginning of the season we would have sat here and probably said the Seahawks and Patriots will be playing for Super Bowl 60. You know, we're not talking about the Chiefs. We're not talking about the Eagles. You know, it's kind of cool that the Patriots are back, in my opinion, but we'll start there. I mean, the first game of the day turned out a little slower pace, but I think the weather had a lot to do with that. You know, it started off pretty clear, but by the end of the game, you couldn't see the field. It started snowing there in Denver, and pretty rough conditions, especially for the kickers too. You know, a lot of missed field goals there, but Patriots come out on top in a low-scoring 10-7. What do you think, Drake May?
Drake May. Drake May looked a little sloppy in the first two playoff games this season. 6 turnovers, fumbles at that. They played a clean game, and by controlling the ball there and playing a clean game, they were able to get themselves a ticket to Super Bowl 60.
I think we all can agree that if Bo Nix though is there instead of Stidham for the Broncos, that's a different ball game. You take a backup quarterback in a conference championship game. He looked good starting out. Boy, did it fizzle out pretty quick though. And late in the ball game, that turnover really cost them. The weather conditions were not great. I enjoyed that game thoroughly watching it. Most people probably didn't. But I enjoyed watching. I was just waiting. I was waiting for the old fumble Ruski. I was waiting for the fumble, the ball to pop, something to happen. And it really didn't. Both teams really controlled that fourth quarter and didn't turn the ball over besides the interception by the Broncos. But to me, the biggest play of the game was Drake May's head taking off and running and picking up the first down and showing the emotion. And you could almost feel the relief when he did that in him. And I tell you what, the kid's impressive. I love Mike Vrabel. I'm glad to see he's going to the Super Bowl. I think Tennessee was stupid for getting rid of him and letting him go to New England because look what he's done. But he's done a great job in New England. I hate the Patriots in the Super Bowl, gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them a time or two over the last, decade or two, but some different names. So that's what's going to be interesting, I think. See Drake May. He only had 86 yards in that game passing, but again, the weather, probably part of that reason. He's going to have to play better though against Seattle, which we will dive into more next week. But Keith, what about the Rams and Seahawks? Pretty high scoring, a lot of offense, a lot of back and forth. I thought it was a pretty fun game.
Do you want to be honest?
Let's hear it.
I watched about 2 series of that and I fell asleep.
Okay. Hey, it was
I did. I couldn't get into it, gentlemen. I watched the first game and it was fun. I enjoyed it. And then to me, the Rams and Seahawks, I think both are great teams. I mean, I watched the Rams play against the Bears and the Seahawks against the Niners. I couldn't get into it. I don't know why. There's no connection, I guess, for me to either team.
You don't like those high-powered offenses just driving the field with will, huh?
Well, it's not that. It's just I don't, as a fan, I just don't have the. I was kind of rooting for Stafford a little bit, but I'm kind of rooting for Darnold too. I mean, that comeback story. Stafford's getting old. How many more times can he do this? But I was just like, maybe the first game took it out of me. Maybe I'm just old. I don't know, but I couldn't stay awake.
I think the interesting thing, the Bears were this close to beating the Rams.
Always this close.
Yeah, always that close. But the thing is, I don't know. I think the Rams could have beat the Seahawks. I think it was there for them. They had the opportunities. I think the Bears would have played a hell of a game if they played the Seahawks, and I would have loved to see that. But we're going to have to wait.
I think so too. But I think I heard some stats. And Scotty, I think we were talking before we came on the show tonight. Sam Darnold had some great stats from that game.
Yeah, I've got him right here. 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. Actually, to pause real quick, the thing that was really cool about that game, it was so even. All the yards were so close. The time of possession, everything down the line was pretty even, and that's why you're going to have a close score. But 374, 3 touchdowns. He went 25 for 36, but Stafford 346, 22 for 35 with 3 touchdowns. So like I said, they're just both right there. Both had really good games. The one stat I did not like, 1 for 8 on third down conversions. That's got to change, I think. That's gonna cost you some games. You have to be able to pick up those third downs. You want to be in manageable third downs, of course. And then the other stat that I liked that I starred here was the Seahawks were 4 for 5 in the red zone, where the Rams were 2 for 3. So I mean, your difference in the game was there. Everything else was pretty equal.
DP, are you surprised? I know you're a big Bears fan too, right? Right? Yeah. Are you surprised that the Rams were able to put up that many numbers? Was the Bears defense just that good against the Rams? Or is the Seahawks defense, who's one of the top defenses in the NFL, not as good as the Bears? And Bears fans, maybe we don't know what we got.
I mean, you are hitting it on the head right there. We don't know what we've got, and we're going to see what we have going into next season with all the money that's got to be shifted around, cap space, all those things. But if we're going to talk about the Seattle defense, I feel like Devin Witherspoon, Illinois' own, with about 5 minutes left in that game, he made a huge, crucial stop on defense, batting the ball away on 4th and goal from the 6-yard line, and they had one more defensive stop after that. But that was a huge play for Spoon, and if he comes through in the Super Bowl and does what he's been doing, he's going to have a ring.
We're going to get deeper into this next week and talk Super Bowl, kind of do a big preview of the Super Bowl on the next week's show. But you know what it is this week, Scotty? The Pro Bowl.
So excited. That's
Guys, I don't know about you, but I used to watch the Pro Bowl from Honolulu. But now you got Shadur Sanders in there with 7 touchdowns, 12 picks as a Pro Bowler. Are you flipping kidding me? What a joke.
And you got guys like Trevor Lawrence that doesn't make it. As, you know, Trevor Lawrence had a great year down in Jacksonville, and Shadur Sanders makes the Pro Bowl. But I think the bigger question is, does it matter? Like, does it matter anymore? Who watches the Pro Bowl? It's touch now. It's not even tackle.
It's flag football.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Well, I like flag football. I do, but these guys are getting paid multi-million dollars, and a lot of them have, like, in their contracts, get paid extra to make the Pro Bowl. But who cares? I mean, I couldn't even tell you what station it's on anymore. I don't know if ESPN covers it or who does, or the NFL Network, but I haven't watched it in years just because it's awful.
I heard it's on ESPN 8, the Ocho.
The Ocho. So, would you pay more attention to it if it was like remember the old skills competitions with the quarterbacks? Do you guys remember that back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
If it was more that style, would you guys pay more attention to it?
I actually did a little research on this, and it's all players, coaches, and fan votes to get voted in, all off popularity. And it is a 7-on-7 flag football and a skills competition. There's no longer line 11 men up on both sides of the ball. It's 7-on-7 flag football. And I feel that takes the NFL, the big hits, the way to adapt to a defense, just takes it all out of the game, and it makes it no fun.
So it's almost like MTV's old version of what was it? Like Jock J, or what did they used to call that? Do you guys remember that? That celebrities they had no. Am I showing my age here, Scotty?
Rock and Jock.
I'm out on this one.
Yeah, Rock and Jock. That was it. Thanks, DP. Appreciate that. Picking me up there. Yeah, the Rock and Jock they played at basketball. They did football. They did all kinds of stuff. That's basically what it is. It's a celebrity, as you said, DP. It's a celebrity contest.
I think what it kind of sounds like it just needs to turn into is, grab a pizza and a drink, and it's the end of the season reunion, whatever, just to have fun. I don't know, but it's not a Pro Bowl.
Cakes and pies. Good old Hawaiian cake.
Why not do it after the Super Bowl? I would rather see it done after the Super Bowl. Maybe make it like an all rookie. Rookies versus sophomores in a 7-on-7. Now, I would be more interested in watching that than watching Shedeur Sanders, guys who we know shouldn't be in there as sports fans, playing 7-on-7.
I've got a did you know fact about the Pro Bowl, which nobody else really probably did their research on the Pro Bowl, but I dug a little.
No.
Did you know the Red Hot Bears received the most fan votes of any team in the NFL and accounted for 1/3 of the overall fan votes?
Well, as Bears fans, we like to vote to make sure we get our way.
They ended up with 3, and it's Byard, the center, and a guard, I believe. But there also are 3 teams, Vikings, Jets, and Saints, who have 0 players in the Pro Bowl. Imagine that.
Well, here's my thing with the Pro Bowl too, and like Major League Baseball has to have a representative from every team in the All-Star game. Why can't the Pro Bowl be just like that? Why can't you adopt to that to have, if you're going to do a Pro Bowl and make it an All-Star game, make it where at least there's one representative from every team there? Because if I'm a Jets fan, thank God I'm not, but if I was a Jets fan and I wanted to go to the Pro Bowl, what incentive do I have to go? None. I mean,
0.
they don't even have an incentive to go watch their own team, but you know what I'm saying.
Yep, I think the Pro Bowl is overrated. I don't think anybody's watching. I'm not. But what I am watching is all the coaching drama right now that's going on, and it's finally starting to get cleaned up. Keith, I'm sure you're following along with
Oh, I am.
all the moves. I think the latest, what we got the latest, the Raiders are, I think, the only team that really hasn't hired a coach yet. That's what I got down here.
Hey, you can do it just as good as Pete Carroll did.
That's the thing. I think, when we talked earlier this week was who wants to coach the Raiders?
The Raiders. You couldn't. Well, you might be able to pay me quite a bit to be there because you're only going to be there a year. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you going to do? You don't have a quarterback. They're going to take Mendoza number 1. They have the number 1 pick in the draft, but I think he's a great quarterback, but he's not a franchise saver by any means. That's a franchise that just is in despair right now.
I think DP made a good point earlier. He said the best part of taking a coaching job there, tax-free money.
That's true. That's very true.
But I think
that's the only thing.
the big thing I've got for the coaching changes right now is Sean McDermott from the Bills. We were kind of surprised. We talked last week that he got let go after 9 seasons at 98-50 record, and from what I'm reading is he's taking next year off. I read a few things where the Tampa Bay Buccaneers talked to him, but he's taking 2026 off.
I don't like the move they did either, hiring their OC as the head coach now. It makes no sense to me what they're doing in Buffalo. That owner, by the way, when he discussed why he made the firing in a press conference, I don't know if I'd want to be any part of that organization anymore either. When he said he walked in the locker room and saw his quarterback and his head coach sobbing, and that's why he fired him. That's a what? They're
Those
showing
boys
emotion. They just lost a huge game.
cared. They were showing a lot of emotion for sure.
Yeah. I don't understand it. But I saw a report from Bleacher Report today. What if McDermott came back and became the defensive coordinator of Buffalo? How funny would that be?
That's a crazy thought because I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of blood is on that knife there. Like, he had a winning football program year after year after year and then gets fired. Does he want to go back and coach for, the Buffalo Bills? I don't know that I would.
How much influence does Josh Allen have, though, to get him to come back? Because I don't think Allen had much of this influence to have him fired anyway.
True, but if you're coming back as a defensive coordinator, what does Josh Allen's influence matter?
Well, because I think he's getting paid a lot of money and brings a lot of money into that organization. That's the influence.
I get it.
But there were some other moves made too, right?
Yeah, the Browns picked up. Who knows? We got that over there.
Browns.
They hired somebody.
Offensive coordinator from the
Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens.
The other interesting one, I don't know if we talked about this last week. Mike McDaniel out of the Dolphins getting hired as an offensive coordinator. So he's kind of taking a step down. I mean, he got fired, so he was looking for a job, but coming off a head coach to an offensive coordinator, I thought that was interesting. We got Joe Brady, like we just talked about, hired head coach Buffalo. We talked about Harbaugh last week. Raiders are still looking.
Mike McCarthy and Pitt.
Yeah, that was another good, interesting one. Mike McCarthy and
I
Pitt.
was waiting for you guys to say that. So you're telling me, and this goes directly to you, Cowboy fans, that he wasn't good enough in Dallas, but he's going to make a difference in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, Pittsburgh Steeler fans. I am sorry. Mercy. What kind of hire? You're going from Mike Tomlin to Mike McCarthy? Give me a break. What's that organization doing?
That's a downgrade.
I even know a couple Steelers buddies who are not happy about it. I was actually bowling a tournament on Saturday with my wife in Danville, and she threw a shot, and it was a terrible shot. She struck, and my buddy yelled out loud, "Are you kidding me?" And I thought he was talking to my wife, but he was actually looking at his phone, and he found out that Mike McCarthy was hired. He was not happy.
I wouldn't be. I just don't I don't know. This coaching carousel of what have he done for me lately, and then paying more money to have somebody who's not been as successful in. I just don't get it anymore, gentlemen, in the NFL. I don't get a lot of things in the NFL. But there's one thing I do get. And that's the Hall of Fame not letting Bill Belichick in. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you my hot take. And here it is. Here's my Stephen A. Smith moment of the night. Bill Belichick is not a Hall of Famer. Not a first ballot Hall of Famer. He should be a Hall of Famer someday. But I'm glad he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. How about that?
I want to hear this, Keith, because I could not disagree with you more. Bill Belichick deserves to be in the Hall of Fame by, I don't even know how many. This guy, I've got all the stats on here, but I want to know why he shouldn't be, Keith.
So here's my reason I say I'm not saying he's not a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
He is a Hall of Fame coach. I'm just saying he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think any coach, I don't care if it's Bill Cowher, I don't care if it's Don Shula, I don't care who it is, should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. They are only as good as the 22 men they put on the field on offense and defense. Did Bill Belichick have a ton of success? Yes, he did. When he had superstars on that team. Tom Brady carried him to a lot of that. Is Tom Brady a first ballot Hall of Famer? You damn right Tom Brady's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But once Tom Brady left, what did Bill Belichick do? Bill Belichick got ran out of town is what he did because he was not successful without Tom Brady. Now, I think Bill Belichick is a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I also don't think I think what, 5 years? You got to be out of the league 5 years and you become eligible. Is that right?
Yeah.
So that's fine, but he's still coaching too. I don't think these guys should even be on the ballot until they are finished, fully retired, out of coaching.
You're saying coaching period because he's coaching college.
Correct. He's at North Carolina. Yeah, I don't think you should. I don't think coaching period. You should be on the ballot till you are finished coaching. Because who says he's not going to come back into the NFL?
That is true. I mean, I think the Raiders might hire him.
The Raiders would hire him in a heartbeat, but I don't think he's dumb enough to take the job. My point is, I don't think any coach should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, and I don't think any coach should be a unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer. Is he a Hall of Famer? Without a doubt. Is there backstories and a bunch of stuff surrounding him that you never thought early in his career would have happened? I mean, he did take the Browns to a playoff victory. I mean, he's got that on his resume too. But to me, I don't see a coach being a first ballot Hall of Famer and unanimous at that. So I had no problem with him not getting in. I have more problem with Eli Manning not getting in on his second try than I do Bill Belichick getting on his first try.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I understand what you're saying, Keith, but I mean, you're looking at a guy that has the most Super Bowl wins as a head coach, the most Super Bowl appearances as a head coach. He's got 12 appearances total in his career. He's got 8 wins total in his career. He's got the most playoff wins as a head coach. He's tied for the most playoff appearances as a head coach. most division titles, the third most wins all time. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. He's a Hall of Famer, and I don't know why he didn't make that ballot.
He's a Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Fame. I just don't. In my mind, in my eyes, first ballot. If you make a first ballot Hall of Fame, it has to be you are the top premier of all time and surpassing who was there before to get on the first ballot. That's my like. You have to be a generational game changer to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I have a lot of problems with a lot of Hall of Fames, and not just the NFL. I have a problem with the way Major League Baseball is doing their Hall of Fame. I think a lot of players are getting in who shouldn't. I think the same way with the NFL, you're getting a lot of players. The one thing the NFL does, and I love what they do, is when they knock on the door and tell them they made the Hall of Fame. I think that's one of the coolest things out of what all professional sports do. But back to the lecture at hand, like I threw that in there. I just don't think Bill Belichick is. I think they made the right call. I do.
I mean, if you're going off your theory, then there shouldn't be ever another head coach that makes a first ballot Hall of Fame because, I mean, right now we're looking at numbers wise the best there was by far.
Correct.
By
Correct.
far.
No, I know. I agree with you on that one. Yeah, you're not going to see another coach do what he did.
No.
Hands down. And you may never, ever. But what he do before Brady, what he do after Brady. I think you put him on next year. I don't care. I just don't think a coach should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Well, I like it, but I don't like it.
I get fired up about it, Scotty. I tell you what, I do. I'm passionate.
I think it was cool seeing all the tweets by all the athletes and sports writers, and it's definitely hit the news pretty hard the last 2 days. So definitely something we had to talk about today, and I'm glad to hear your side.
Yeah, you know what? Sometimes I don't always agree with the general public, but you know it's all right. But hey, let's take a quick break. Let's come back. We'll refresh. Everybody grab a drink. Everybody grab something. You know, go to the bathroom. We're gonna give you about 30 seconds to a minute. We're gonna come back and we're gonna talk a little Major League Baseball right here on the PressBox Live, brought to you by Jen Wright, the Midwest Mortgage Group.
You work hard to keep your car running and your home safe. That's why it's an easy choice to turn to Country Financial for car and home insurance you can count on. Jordan McDaniel and Country Financial have provided insurance and protected families like yours for more than 100 years. That's the kind of stability you can trust. Start protecting your car and your home today. Call Jordan McDaniel, your Country Financial representative in Savoy, at 217-352-9817 for a free quote today.
Welcome back to the PressBox Live from the Clubhouse Lounge Radio Studios and the TP in Tolono. Thank you for joining us. We've talked NFL football. Now we're going to move into baseball. It's been a crazy offseason, gentlemen, with free agents signing for some big money, including Kyle Tucker for 4 years, $240 million, $60 million a year with the Dodgers. DP, I know you're a big baseball guy, and Scotty, you're a Cardinal fan, so you don't matter. But is this contract by Tucker? To me, it's ridiculous. I don't think he has earned any right. When we both saw him play in Chicago last year, I didn't think he earned $60 million. But is this bad for baseball?
I do believe it's truly bad for baseball. You've got clubs out there that can't even match half of that as a whole club, and you've got this man coming in and scooping up $60 million a year. It begins to be unfair at some point. What that point is, I don't know if MLB will ever take control of it, but I do believe that it's on the wrong path there, and it's pulling away from other teams and clubs in the organization.
You know, the collective bargaining agreement's up after 2026. And I think they're gonna have to look really hard if there's not a stoppage, because I really think, in my whole heart, I think there's going to be a stoppage. I don't want to, because we know what happened in '94, and we lost a lot of steam and everything. And thank God for Sammy and McGuire bringing it back in '98. But if there's going to have to be a cap. There's going to have to be something. But these smaller market teams are going to have to spend money too, because just as bad as I think Tucker signing a 4-year 60 or $240 for $60 million a year, the Brewers let Freddie Peralta go to the Mets over $8 million. He was fifth in Cy Young voting. Why are you giving up a guy like that and not just paying him? These smaller market teams have to pay guys. They have to spend some money. And if you're the Cardinals, well, we just get rid of everybody and we're going to rebuild. But, it's whatever.
Yeah, that's what the Cardinals are for sure doing this offseason. Maybe the next couple off seasons here. Yeah, I mean, you said it. There's nothing else to say about the Cardinals. It's full rebuild mode, and that's about all I'll say about the Cardinals right now.
It is, but DP, there's been still some big time free agents out there, and some teams are going to need some help.
There definitely are. There definitely are some top prospects out there that are available that haven't signed the dotted line yet. For instance, my favorite available would be Framber Valdez. He's one of the top starters available. Not because of lack of interest. Veteran left-handers linked to the Mets, the Mets, the Orioles, the Giants, and the Cubs. He does have a draft pick compensation attached to him as a result of declining a qualifying offer from the Astros. So that may be what's slowing him down to finally signing a contract.
Is that what's slowing him down, though, or is the mix-up last year, the mix-up, if you will, where him and the catcher got into it? Do you think that's a little bit of a head issue, too? Do you think, teams are a little ish? I know the qualifying offer, declining it, the draft pick compensation, that's becoming more prevalent now, but it's got to be something else. He's too good not to be signed somewhere by now. And there's teams, every team needs pitching. So it's either got to be he's asking for too much money or there's another issue. One of the two to me. And I just don't see him going to the Mets. I think the Mets are pretty set. I don't see Steve Cohen spending any more money. I think he's a great fit for the Orioles. I really do. But I think he may have to take a smaller deal, like a 1-2 year deal with an opt-out to sign somewhere before spring training.
I agree. It could, like you said, Keith, back to the incident with the catcher and giving up the grand slam and hitting him with the ball in the chest purposely and all that. Just the attitude and what he brings to the table as far as him versus the team. It's me, I believe. That could be a problem.
Big time. Who else you got on your available free agents right now?
Gino Suarez, 49 home runs for the second time in his career last season. He's a Seattle favorite, but he's got interest from the Pirates, Red Sox, and Tigers. Arraez.
Where do you think he fits at?
Where does he fit? That's a good stick. I could see him going to the Tigers or the Red Sox for sure. You can keep him out of my division. I don't need him to the Pirates.
Bingo. Yes, agreed. But I think, honestly, either one of those two teams, why they haven't signed it. The Tigers lost Bregman, and so they've got to fill that bat somewhere. The Red Sox lost Bregman. The Tigers have tried to sign Bregman twice now. They couldn't get him. The Red Sox lost Bregman. They've got to fill that bat somewhere. Why is this guy who hits 49 homers? Yes, he strikes out a lot, but he's a DH, can play a third base on occasion, and both those teams have holes there. I just don't get it. I don't know if he's asking. I know he wanted $25 million a year, and he's not going to get it. I could see maybe 15, but he's not. Yeah, that's too good of a bat to be sitting at home right now.
Totally agree. Next on my list, I've got Luis Arraez. Padres' first baseman slot is still available. The Rangers are also interested. He's a great contact hitter. Doesn't slug very well, but he's won 3 straight batting titles. He's a 3-time All-Star, career batting average at .317. Another top one out there that why hasn't he found a contract yet? He's available.
That's a great question, and I don't know. I don't know why the Padres haven't signed him. Guy puts a bat on the ball and gets on base. And that just seems to be a lost art in the game of baseball anymore. Arraez, you hit 317. Tell me 4 other guys off the top of your head who hit over 300 last year. I don't know if I could. And so there's plenty of holes out there. I really think this looming CBA is having teams worried about spending money if you're not the Dodgers or Mets. I really do. And having these longer years. I think the long guaranteed contracts, ladies and gentlemen, are over with. You will not see these 13, 15, even a 10-year contract anymore from Major League Baseball. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a great thing because I think the risk is not worth the reward and everybody's seeing it. Who else you got, DP?
Got Zach Gallen. It's 30-year-old right-hander. He's got interest from the Angels, Giants, Tigers, Orioles, Braves, and Cubs. Seems to be 3 or 4 of the teams that are still in the mix that are just looking for good pitching, good starters. I think he fit well in a Cubs uniform.
Here's where Zach Gallen messed up. He had a $22.5 million qualifying offer and didn't take it from the Diamondbacks. He should have taken that because he's not going to get that in free agency. You sign the 1-year deal, take the qualifying offer, reestablish yourself, and now he's got some help. Arenado's there. He left St. Louis and went to Arizona. Sorry, Scotty. Sorry, I have to. I just think that was a bad business move on his part. Will he get probably 10 to 12 million and maybe a long 3-year deal? Maybe. But to me, he's a number 4 or number 5 in a rotation, unless he figures something out. So I think he made the business move in the wrong way at the beginning of the offseason.
Correct.
What else you got on there, DP? Who else is left?
Chris Bassett. That's my 5th of the top 5 that are still available. Chris Bassett, 30 starts in each of the past 4 seasons. And I believe that man is 37 years old.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
That's Jamie Moyer-esque, DP.
He's also got interest from the Mets, Orioles, Tigers, Giants, Braves, and Cubs.
I think the Cubs are attached to everybody anymore. I do. But the Giants are a team that I think needs help. Bassett, you get a guy who starts 30 games over 4 straight seasons. That's an innings eater. That's all that's what that guy is. That's steady. That's consistency. That's healthy. Once again, I don't know why he's still available. There's plenty of teams. I could look at the bottom half of Major League Baseball, teams that finished the bottom half of their divisions or the league last year and be like, all right, he fits there, he fits there, he fits there. What are we waiting on? Christmas? Because you wait that long, the season's going to be over. I want to throw a name at both you and a couple of them, actually. And these guys are older, but I still think they got fuel in the tank. Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander. I think both of those guys are not done yet. I think they both bring something to the table, whether it's give you 20 starts and 5 innings a start and you got leadership in the clubhouse. I just don't get why these guys aren't getting signed because Mad Max is one of my favorite pitchers. I'm a baseball fan, but that guy's a gamer, and so was Verlander, and I want them in my clubhouse hands down. I just don't get why nobody's looking at them, and you don't hear a lot of people talking about them either.
I think they're on the downhill of their career for sure. But, I mean, yeah, those are big names that were really relevant in the last 10 years of baseball. And yeah, I agree. There is some fuel left in the tank, I believe, for those guys. But I think you're probably picking towards the bottom of the barrel with them just because of their age.
Oh, I don't think so. You give me, I take both of them as a number 4, number 5 starter and let them go. I think health issues may be a little issue there, but as a 4 or 5, you can always replace a 4 or 5. I'd spend $10 million on each of them if I was a GM and have them in my clubhouse. DP, what about you?
I mean, I agree. Those guys are also on my list. They are my notables at the bottom, but age, I think they've got something left in the tank still, and they can get a couple good seasons in for whoever may sign them to a 1 or 2 year deal.
Speaking of what's left in the tank, Scotty, our NASCAR aficionado. That's my big word of the week, by the way, aficionado. I don't know much about NASCAR besides the last 20 laps. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I've been to one race, enjoyed myself. Drank a lot, but I enjoyed myself. But it starts back up this weekend, right?
Yep, boys, start your engines because here we go. Bowman Gray is this weekend. Bowman Gray, I'm not gonna lie, it's just kind of the scrimmage. Let's say, let's call it a scrimmage. It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean points. Like, there's some money involved, but it doesn't. It doesn't mean much as far as the season goes. It's just kind of the kickoff. So, Bowman Gray this weekend. It's not going to be a full field. It's going to be a partial field depending on point standings last year. But yeah, I'm excited to start NASCAR, the Daytona 500 in 2 weeks. Next week you have the duels, and an interesting thing I read today about the duels is they're potentially looking to postpone them or move the date because of the freezing weather right now in Daytona. So I mean, who would have thought we would be living in a world right now where they're potentially going to delay a NASCAR race because of freezing weather in Daytona?
Yeah, we could go on and on all night about this little world right now, but let's not get into that too much. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. I enjoy watching NASCAR race. I enjoy watching the pre-race festivities. I enjoy watching. I'll check on it. I'll have it on the TV. But typically it puts me to sleep through if it's a 250 race lap race between 51 and about 199. I just can't do it. I've tried. I just can't. I'm trying. I'm gonna be open minded this year though. We're gonna try to watch a little bit more.
Well, that's why NASCAR's good. It's Sunday afternoon. I mean, it's a long race. You can kick back in the recliner and take a little nap. It's all right.
Yeah, I do. That's my Sunday afternoons.
No, I'm a big NASCAR guy, so I'll keep us filled in all year long. Excited for the 500. We go to a race every year, and down in St. Louis, it's definitely a better time in person. I mean, hands.
Hands. Yeah, agreed.
But I do enjoy some NASCAR and I'm following along. And the big number 8 car, Kyle Busch, is my guy. A lot of people will not like that. I'm going to probably hear from some non-Kyle Busch fans in the chat. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I'll be doing NASCAR all year long. And another thing I want to talk about, probably won't get to it much today, but UFC debuted with Paramount this past weekend. And they went away from the pay-per-views. It's going to be a subscription service now. There was a lot of negative comments about it.
And there should be.
Yeah, I agree. There was some issues, but it is a new thing. I don't mind it. I don't mind it, and I'll tell you why. Because for $8.99 or whatever it is a month, you can watch your every UFC fight now instead of paying $60, $80 a pay-per-view. And I know you know about the pay-per-views with your wrestling.
That's right, which the Royal Rumble is this weekend too, and I'm excited for that. It's my favorite PLE Premium Live event. They don't call it pay-per-views anymore. Of the year. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am a wrestling fan. I've even been in the ring as Mo Money, Keith Gibson. If you want to dig on YouTube, you can find the videos. But anyway, I digress. The only problem I have with all this, Scotty and DP, is there are so many different streaming services now for sports fans that they have to subscribe to watch. The NFL was like that, and I know we're going to dive deeper into this next week just because of time constraints, because we got high school basketball coming up right after the show tonight, Unity and Monticello here on Clubhouse Lounge Radio. But we're going to dive a little deeper into this, but there's a lot to talk about on this subject alone.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's so many subscription networks now and broadcasting networks now. Even if you jump back to NASCAR alone has 3 different broadcasting partners throughout the season, and they kind of split it up, not quite thirds, but it's, the first third, a little more, then there's a middle section, and then the end section. So they all take turns, but yeah, it's tough, I think, as a sports fan these days, but let's dive into that next week because there's a lot that we can talk about on that.
There is, and I'm looking forward to that. We're going to talk a Super Bowl preview next week as well, so you'll want to tune in next Thursday night, back to our normal time at 7 o'clock here on Clubhouse Lounge Radio. We're going to take a quick break here from some of our great sponsors who help support Clubhouse Lounge Radio. And if you want to help support Clubhouse Lounge Radio, you can always donate. Venmo us, you can send us a check, or you can talk to one of your local businesses that you know and have them become an advertiser and partner on Clubhouse Lounge Radio. But for now, we're going to take a quick break, come right back, and we're going to dive into the ILL.
Big game tonight.
That's right. We're going to talk Illini basketball, men's and women's. And get you ready for high school basketball coming up here on Clubhouse Lounge Radio. We'll be back in just a minute.
Spring is almost here, and that means more time on the road. At Cam's Auto Repair, we help you get your vehicle road ready after a long winter. From inspections and maintenance to the repairs that keep your family safe, our team takes the time to explain what your car needs so there are no surprises. You can book online through Google or at our website at camsautorepair.com or call 217-607-1477 to talk with Dale or Cody. Cam's Auto Repair, trusted car care done right.
Back here on the Press Box Live, Keith Gibson in the Clubhouse Lounge Radio Studios. Scotty Johnson, a DP over in the TP in Tolono. We ran you through the NFL, the Hall of Fame, and the joke that the Pro Bowl has become. We ran you through baseball. We gave you a little bit of NASCAR. We gave you a little bit of UFC and streaming services. We give you everything here on the Press Box Live because it's real sports talk for real sports fans. But now we're going to dive into the big topic of the night. We're going to talk about ILL.
I.
Thank God somebody picked that one up because nobody picked it up earlier in the show. Hey, here we go. Illini basketball. What a big win last weekend over Purdue at Mackey Arena. Can we talk about Wagler and what a show by the freshman?
Keaton Wagler, the Keaton Wagler show. Yeah, you can say it. I mean, Keith, we talked last week. Boswell's hurt. Illini are going to have to step up this next month, and we had to go on the road and do it in a big way at Mackey Arena. Toughest place to play in the Big Ten, probably the nation, and they come out with a win, and it was a heck of a game.
It was. And DP, man, have you ever seen him before? When he started hitting, I was like, oh, this guy's he's feeling it. But I was just waiting for that to stop, and it never stopped.
I mean, it was unreal to watch. Nothing like I've ever seen out of a college basketball player just come out and light them up like that. So comfortable, so pure, so relaxed, and just confident. His confidence is unreal. The kid's going to be good. Why did the state of Kansas miss out on that kid, or for that matter, anybody in the NCAA? Why did this kid not have offers? Why?
He had a few to mid majors.
Right.
Brad Underwood signed him and gave him an offer without even seeing him play. Underwood's son, why am I drawing a blank here, gentlemen?
Tyler Underwood.
Thank you.
Yeah,
he's the one who recruited him.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy. The kid's good. He's a one and done.
It makes it even better that Bill Self missed that opportunity, in my opinion. But his performance on Saturday, I just got to say, it was an instant classic. He set records. That guy was moving around like a slick lizard out there, and it just did not miss. But also, what was nice about Saturday, down Boswell, as we've said several times now, the team at the end of the game really came together. You have, Tommy, you have Jake Davis, you have Hummerkaus. They made 4 threes in a row. I think Tommy had 2 of them. But, to hit those back to back, they got a piece of the pie. And that's exactly what Illini needed to do to win that game. And I just think if we can beat Purdue at Purdue, which they did lose their 3rd straight, tough for
Michigan.
them. No, they lost to
to Indiana. Sorry, yeah,
in Bloomington. But that's exactly what we're going to need to do. I told you last week. Our next 3 road games are at number 4 Purdue, at number 7 Nebraska, and at number 10 Michigan State. I said we're probably not going to win all of them. But if we can steal 1 or 2 of those road-ranked wins, Illinois' got a shot to do some damage in March. And they set the bar pretty high this past Saturday with taking a nice win at Mackey Arena. But we have to redo it. We have to go Sunday to Nebraska and play the number 7 Nebraska Cornhuskers. or number
Who
5 now.
lost? Who
They did.
lost to Michigan?
Yep, they did. They did lose to Michigan, and that scares me though, because now they're coming off a loss. They're going back home and playing a top 10 ranked opponent. But we just did that with Purdue. So they came off a loss to UCLA, and we beat them at home. We got to do it again.
We can't overlook tonight, though. We can't overlook Washington tonight at home. That's a must win in my eyes. These are the games you have to win to be successful and to win the Big Ten. Just because the Big Ten is that talented this year. That Big Ten is loaded with quality teams. You look, we talked a little bit about last week, Scotty, is Nebraska, Michigan State, Michigan, Illinois, Purdue. Past that, yeah, but you got 5 or 6 really solid teams that could be, in my eyes, number 4 seeds or higher in the NCAA tournament, all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. What we said last week is these home games like tonight, Washington, you got to take care of business. You're coming off a win. You can't let it be the trap game, because they talk about the trap games, and it just can't be a trap game at home. We got to take care of business our next several home games.
Yeah, you got to take care of business at home, don't you, DP?
Absolutely agree with what Scotty said. Don't let this be a trap game. Take care of business at 8:00 tonight and get that W, and then go ahead and plan for Saturday at Nebraska.
Sunday.
Yeah. Our last loss was Nebraska, December 13th, at home. They beat us by 3, 83-80. We led that game, I believe, with 15 minutes and 59 seconds in the first half still left, and we tied them at 80 in the last minute. Nebraska led the whole game and then hit us with the walk-off 3. We got to prep for that one, but do not overlook tonight.
Yeah, you can't overlook tonight, and we got to figure out how to better defend Nebraska's threes, because they shoot the ball very, very well. They create their own shots very, very well. Let's just get the win tonight and move on and get a little bit of revenge at their place on Sunday, and I think we'll be all right. Let's talk a little women's college. God, I can't even talk, guys. Women's Illini basketball. They took a loss on Wednesday night against number 2 UCLA, but Shauna Green's got them in the right direction, gentlemen.
Exactly. We talked about it last week. Shauna Green is doing a great job here. It was a tough game last night. Number 2 UCLA comes to town. They really controlled the whole game if you watch. But otherwise, regardless, Shauna Green's doing a good job, and I think they have a really young team. They're going to do big things, and they're going to be good for a long time.
They're competing. No matter who they play, they're competing. And coming up, I did see against USC, they're trying to sell out State Farm Center and offering free tickets to that game. That's February 8th, a week from Sunday. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, and they've got some great specials too. Like, I think it's $1 wings and $7 domestic beers. If you can't tell, I like wings and I like beer. And I might be at that ball game at noon. So, a free ticket, $1 wings, $7 beers. Yeah, pretty good. And free parking. That's right up anybody's alley, let me tell you. And you get a good ball game.
Absolutely. And speaking of speaking of women and men's right now, we're a month out from March. Ranked top 10 now, Illinois men's. Where do you see this Illinois team fitting in this bracket here come March?
The men's side, I think both teams get in. I do. I think men's side, I see us as a 2 or 3. I think a 2 right now, depending on what we do this week. I do. I think that can fluctuate on the next week and a half. Right now, I see us as a 2, and I see us some projections I saw had us playing where was it? In St. Louis, which I think is a big plus as well in that first round set of games. And I think that's a good spot for us. I really do. And playing St. Louis at St. Louis, but it'll be okay. I think we'll handle the Billikens if that would be the case. But I see us as a 2 right now. And, for Shauna Green to get this women's team just in the tournament is a huge thing for the program. And she keeps growing it. And the more success they have, the more it's going to grow.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Shauna Green and the women's team last year won the inaugural. What tournament was that? It was a NIT equivalent, or I don't know.
I think so. We'd have to ask Brody Keith. Brody Keith was there. I know, a good friend of the show, a good friend of the station, and he was there. But yeah, I think it's an NIT equivalent of for the women. And but they did win that in New York.
Yeah. So yeah, Shauna Green's got it going. I agree. I think they make the 68 and find themselves playing March Madness as well. So it's going to be an exciting month. But yeah, like you said, let's start this week. Take care of business tonight. We're ready. We're decked out.
Got my David Mirkovic on.
But yeah, take care.
NIL. Sporting that NIL, aren't you, DP?
You have to. You have to, Keith.
Yes, you do. You're right. You're right. No, it's I'm excited. It's an exciting time. You can tell even by ticket prices, even on the secondhand market right now for Illini tickets, it's going crazy. Do want to mention we'll get into it next week though. The Illini football schedule was released as well, and we'll go through it on next week's show. And I have an announcement to make regarding that as well on next week's show. So make sure you tune in. Yeah, I didn't talk to you guys about that yet, so I got an announcement to make next week. How about that?
Heck yeah. Sounds like a party.
All right. It is. Next week's show, we're gonna talk Super Bowl. We're gonna get you prepped and ready for the Super Bowl on next Thursday night show, which will go back to our normal time at 7:00 here on Facebook and at Clubhouse217.com. We'll talk Super Bowl. We're gonna talk some streaming service. I want to get into that a little bit next week, gentlemen, if we can. We're gonna talk. We're gonna make the announcement, of course. Of course, we'll update everybody on the Illini and talk about that because we got 2 big games. We got tonight and Sunday, and we'll figure out where we're at then. And hopefully, we're 2-0 and riding this win streak. And I'm sure we'll be some other. What do you want to, as a listener and a watcher? What do you want us to talk about on the show? What's important to you? Let us know. Shoot us a message. Put it in the comments. We appreciate all the feedback and all the comments and everything we get during the show, and it's fun to do. And I tell you what, starting next week, we're going to give a Clubhouse Lounge Radio prize pack away to somebody who is involved with the show as far as commenting and give us some suggestions. Let us know. I know we had a lot in our week 1, and I'm excited for all the things we've had tonight as well. So we're rolling right now, gentlemen.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff going on in the sports world, and I mean, it's a good time to be an Illini fan, so it's always going to be good to talk about that week in and week out, and looking forward to tonight's game. And you got a big game tonight too, Keith.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to head out of here and head over to the Rocket Center to do the Unity Rockets and the Monticello Sages. 2 towns I'm very, very well known. Big rivalry game tonight. Should be a fun one. The Rockets are playing great basketball. The Sages are playing good basketball. And it's a Illini Prairie game as well. So a fun night at the Rocket Center, which you can just stay right here, live with us. And we're going to roll right into the game here shortly after we finish up here.
All right.
Gentlemen, any final thoughts before we head out tonight?
Go ahead, DP.
I'll go with Cubs get some good pitching. Illini get the W. Who cares?
That's a great week, DP.
Who cares about the Super Bowl? We'll talk about that next week. But tonight, let's worry about Illinois getting wins and Cubs signing some more pitching.
I like it. Scotty?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start off the same way. ILLINI, let's get the win tonight. Let's go to Nebraska, go to Lincoln, and see if we can get that revenge game. NASCAR, I will keep us posted on that because I am ready. And also, I want to hear everybody's comments on Facebook who agrees with me. Belichick should be in the Hall of Fame.
No.
Enough said.
No. My final thoughts are, gentlemen, I'm glad we're doing this. It's so much fun. I'm glad we're getting the interaction we are from our listeners and fans. And I want to thank everybody who's tuned in so far. And I share the show. Share it. Tell your friends about it. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think of the show so far. Are you enjoying it? Are you having fun? Of course, I want to thank our sponsors, Jen Wright at Midwest Mortgage, Jordan McDaniel, Country Financial, Cam's Auto Repair, Central Illinois Cars and Carts. We thank all of you guys for being great sponsors of the Press Box Live. We're going to take a quick break and come back, and we will get you ready for Unity Rockets basketball on Rocket Nation's radio station, Clubhouse Lounge Radio. For my broadcast partners, I am Keith Gibson. This has been the Press Box Live. We'll see you next Thursday night at 7 o'clock.